it's Carlos and Costas here at Ultimate Fitness Training once again, and thank you so much for watching the video. And today we're doing a video about some of the questions that Costas asked for me, and hopefully I'll be able to answer those questions to the best of my ability. So over to Costas.
I want to know when I should be thinking about changing something when I feel as if I've plateaued. How do I know? What are the signs?
Okay, that's a really good question, because obviously a lot of us are trained, don't know the signs. Now, let me tell you what happens physically, and then I'll talk about psychologically what happens, and then I'll talk about physiologically what happens. So there's three areas really which are very important. Now, physically, what are the signs when you plateaued your training? Now, a lot of people have plateaued, and I've actually done a video similar to this, but not so much in terms of detail in terms of plateau. But one of the signs, physical sign, is obviously you start getting injuries. Okay, now you can get injured anyway. Okay, but when you plateau, where you keep doing the same thing day in, day out, and remember what I said to you guys about discipline and stubbornness. It's very close. Some people are very disciplined and some people are very stubborn, and sometimes stubbornness can be mistaken by discipline, two different things. Now, if you are stubborn and do the same thing day in, day out, same repetition, same tempo, same intensity, same form, and a lot of the times the form is really bad, that can cause a lot of plateau, which then for your body gets the same stimulation. And no matter how good or bad you train, your body gets bored, your mind gets bored, and you plateaued. Now, it comes to a point where the myofibrils, which in simple terms, the muscles, don't get enough stimulation from a different sort of point of view. So that's when you plateau. Okay, now, from a psychological point of view, what happens is this, and this tends to happen to all of us, okay, that's including myself. And that's the reason why I always say to you guys, become your greatest version. So becoming your greatest version is not just physically. You got to, obviously, the mind and soul. Now in the gym, in order to become your greatest version, you have to have variation. Okay, there's a lot of different energy systems in your body. It's like gears in your car. If you keep using the same gear every single day, which is the first gear, and you didn't do any other gears, I tell you what, it causes, well, not just damage to the car, but your ride wouldn't be great. You damage obviously the car, and you definitely wouldn't enjoy the ride, and definitely wouldn't be great for you to get to work on time. So that's the reason why our body was given the reason why we've got different gears. What I mean by different gears, I'm talking about different energy systems. So you've got aerobic, anaerobic, you've got fast twitch, slow twitch, and intermediate twitch in your body. So in simple terms, they are gears. I'm not going to go too much into science behind that, because that's for another video. But what it actually does is, it just gives you a different sort of spectrum of what sort of training you've got to do. Now, from a mind's point of view, when you get bored, you stop training, or you stop slowing down on your training, you stop missing sessions, your sessions get away from the intensity that they normally are, which then has a massive knock-on effect on the physiology that you then get, which is obviously your results. Now, you don't get as stoned, you start getting injured, your muscles start aching too much, your joints start aching. A lot of people tend to, obviously, if you see, I mean, this is something obviously because I've been in the industry for so long, I get people like, I sometimes see people doing really bad form, and don't take me wrong, they'll just stubborn, they'll keep doing the same thing and the same thing and the same thing, and eventually what they do, they start having a lot of problems like tendon problems, a lot of joint problems, and then that causes a lot of like discomfort for the training, and it comes to a point where they just hit the wall. They're not listening, they're not understanding, they haven't educated themselves in terms of to change, and then you haven't got nowhere to go, and it comes to a point where you think, you know what, not getting any results, I'm getting injured, fuck this, they stop. And that really is what happens to plateau. Now, there's a lot of other signs of plateau as well, which obviously that's probably from a medical point of view really. I mean, a lot of people, when they kind of push themselves too hard, and they're not listening and understanding about what they need to take. For instance, a lot of people don't take any multivitamin minerals. don't take it at all. They don't care. They think they get it from the food, and a lot of the times the food's not great either, so they're not getting it from there either. So they want to train really hard, they want to eat the worst crap food there is out there, so they're going to plateau. So their diet's going to plateau. It comes to a point where your body needs a lot more. I'm just talking about diet. Obviously supplements, diets, training, they all come together. And in between that comes the mind. You got to give yourself some rest too. So you can't be going 100 miles an hour and not thinking you're going to crash. One day you're going to crash. So you've got to be able to come off. I call it the motorway. Say you're going really on a fast lane. Sometimes you've got to come off the motorway, go onto the roundabout, go to a couple of villages, and then you get back on the motorway again. That's a bit of a metaphor that I've kind of just made up quite quickly. But you see what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Especially when for instance, sometimes when you push me to that limit and I think I can't do it. Like you were saying about different gears. Just pushing it that little bit more, and then you don't feel as if you can do it, but you know you've got it inside if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
It's just overcoming it.
Totally, and this is the thing, what Costas is just saying, this is basically for the guys probably they're not probably train with me, or probably don't train to failure or to a high intensity, or they probably did in the past. You always got a little bit more, okay? There's something called obviously the survival mode. Until you get to, what your body can do is, crazy stuff. I was reading a book the other day about a parent that was on holiday with his own child in America, and they were in a lake, and basically the child got caught by a crocodile. And basically, this actually happened. Similar story. I actually seen this on a documentary once. I don't think it was the same thing, but it was a similar thing. And basically jumped in, and basically, I don't know how he did it, but for some reason the crocodile let go of the child. You know what I mean? He still got obviously a lot of different sort of injuries to his body, but he managed to escape from the crocodile. Obviously his dad got in there, and then that's adrenaline, so that's survival mode. So a lot of the times, I'm not saying for you to go out there in the gym and trying to, you know what I mean, encounter crocodiles, but what I'm trying to say is what you can potentially do sometimes when you're doing, say, 20 press-ups and people go on a 19th running drop. Of course you can do another extra, and you ain't gonna die by pushing yourself a little bit more. But what it is, a lot of people actually don't understand they can tap onto or tap into that extra turbo, if you like, but then that's the other thing you got to listen to. Sometimes you got to listen to your body, and what happens is this, and this is what I was just going to say before I forget, is, say for instance you come to the gym on Monday, say, and you perform absolutely phenomenally well, okay, and then let's say you really feel hyper about it, and this is something that for people that push themselves, probably it's easy to understand, is, so you push yourself so hard, and let's say on Tuesday you come in and you're doing a exercise where you can't perform as well, automatically you start thinking, shit, I'm not as good as yesterday, it seems I'm going backwards. Why would you go backwards because you can't perform? That doesn't mean you're going backwards. What it means is, on that particular day, maybe you've had a stressful day, so your cortisol levels were a lot higher. Maybe you haven't had so many calories, so your glycogen levels are really lower. There's so many variables that play for you to have, different energy systems that energy level, that play on your energy systems that can cause so many different sort of performance. And this is why, like for instance, I say if I train first thing in the morning, I have a particular workout regardless of how much I push myself. If I train mid-morning, different one. If I train in the afternoon, different one. And even the body looks different. You know, like for instance, like saying the first thing in the morning, I look a lot more flatter. What I mean by that is my glycogen level, because I've been asleep for say 8 hours or 6 hours or 7 hours, 9 hours, whatever hours they are on that particular day. So in the evening, I'm going to look a lot more pumped up because obviously I've had food throughout the day. So even those kind of things play huge parts. So for you guys trainers out there that go to the gym and expect the same answer every single time, the same feedback every single time, and you judge, I want to say this, and this is something I actually said the other day to my client, I actually thought to myself, that's something that I've got to actually say on the video. You can't judge yourself, because obviously, let me just reword that. Depending on whether you're a visual person, kinesthetics, or you are auditory digital or digital person, I don't know if you guys know about this, but a visual person is people that actually like to see things in order to believe. Kinesthetics are people that need to touch to believe. Auditory digital people are people that kind of like needs to make sense for them to understand or believe you. And audio people is people that learn through listening. Okay. Now, for instance, me is more by seeing. If I see something, I believe it. Okay. If I don't see it, it's kind of hard to believe. Now, when it comes to training, a lot of people are kinesthetic. Okay, what I mean, meaning touching, it's all about the way they feel. They don't really care how it looks. As long as it feels good, they're happy. Now, if say they push themselves really hard and they can't do it because they feel shit about it, because they can't do it, automatically they on a down spiral, which is, and then obviously, as you know, as I just said, energy systems plays a big part, stress levels play a big part, diet plays a big part. So imagine on one day you could have a brilliant workout, next day you could have a shit workout, you're going downhill. But that's not should be the way. That's why I actually touched on the videos if you guys seen. I've done about keep up with your mojo, how to stay on your mojo, or not to lose your mojo. It talks a little bit about that sort of stuff, not to over analyze the way you feel sometimes, because if I was to work out every time I feel amazing, I probably would never work out, because sometimes I feel amazing, sometimes I don't. So I just work out regardless, and I measure myself based on what I can see and how I feel sometimes, but it's a bit of a measures, and I know how to tap into the variables. And it's the reason why I do the same things with my clients, but sometimes I can't command them 100%. Obviously they are their own person, but this is why I always say to the guys, you know, you are doing well, but if you are not doing well, I also tell you. I mean, as Costas knows, I'm always very fair with people. It's all about being fair. But I think does that answer the question or not?
It does, yeah.
Okay.
Also, I was going to ask you, I think you've mentioned it before, about sleep.
Yeah, sleep is a big thing. Sleep is a massive, because, I mean, just about sleep.
About
how many hours?
Affects.
Yeah, huge. I mean, for the guys know about the biorhythm. I mean, obviously, you know, probably mothers out there, and probably dads as well, probably sympathise with this one. Obviously, we've got young kids. Sometimes you don't sleep, say, you know, 8 hours. It has a massive knock-on effect on the biorhythm. What I mean by that is basically on your chakras. I mean, for the guys that are probably not so much into this sort of like thing, you've got 7 chakras. So you've got more than 7 chakras. But if you guys Google chakras, it'll tell you. Sleep is one of the main things about getting yourself into balance. Okay, so if you don't get really 7 to 8 hours sleep, it can cause you to be completely out of balance. And don't take me wrong, I'm not just telling you, because I think once I was basically sleeping 4 to 5 hours at night, and I crashed and burned. And I've got to be honest with you, I'm talking from personal experience. I thought I was invincible, so I crashed and burned. So I had to learn from it. Hence the reason why I became a lot more spiritual. That's the reason why I became a better version of myself, because I had to learn the hard way. So I'm not just telling you because I think. Cool?
Yeah, cool.
Fantastic. So I tell you what, that was a good thing. I mean, I love, you know what, I think I love to do different, as in the videos, I'm not saying I'm brilliant doing videos anyway, as you guys know. I sometimes spat at the camera by mistake, you know, it's some crazy stuff. And it's great to do different videos as well. And it's actually sometimes great to be asked questions rather than me telling you things. It's great to be asked questions on the spot and thinking what I think. But that was quite an organic one. It was a good one. So I hope you guys liked it. So you know where to find me on Carlos Instagram, Carlos Trainer 10, and on YouTube, Carlos Training, and on my website, which is ultimatefitnesstraining.co.uk. I've got to say thank you very much, Costas, for, as always, great. Keep watching this guy. This guy, I tell you what, and I keep saying this to him, he probably, you know, every time I tell him, he probably, but he's absolutely phenomenal. He pushes himself tremendously. He's improved massively, stronger, healthier, happier version of himself. And basically, there's no limits, guys. There's no limit. It doesn't matter what you've done before. Doesn't matter what you've done. You can become your greatest version from a physical, mind, and spiritual point of view in all terms. So, any questions? Any more? No. Cool. So stay happy, stay healthy, stay fit. Have a good day. Bye-bye.